Good afternoon, the respected members of the panel of experts, Dr. Amse A. Anyasco, and to the Dean of Graduate School, Dr. Rowena Arcontillo. Allow me to propose a study which entitled Home Environment, Work-Life Balance, and Productivity of Home-Based Private Secondary School Teachers. For the introduction, the unprecedented coronavirus disease 2019 has brought drastic changes in all aspects of people's lives and reformat the working environment through the abrupt adaptation of working from home arrangement or home-based employment. The education sector is no excuses to this new normal which poses a monumental challenge to educators not only in the aspect of pedagogy but also in sitting in borderline between one's home and workplace. For my related literature, while several studies considered working from home time and cost efficient and positively correlated to improved job satisfaction, performance, and productivity, a number of researchers also exposed its drawback like increase in electric and internet consumption and overwork due to overlapping family and working responsibilities that might cause remote workers to disengage from work. The aforementioned pros and cons of working from home have been testing online teachers' ability to maintain the equilibrium between their work and family life. Productivity in the context of working from home has attracted greater attention of researchers. Since the COVID-19 outbreak, several studies have been conducted to assess the productivity of work from home workers. The highly cited of which is the study of Bloom et al. 2015, stating that remote working environment increases one's productivity. Although this phenomenon is becoming a common subject of research at present, there is no study conducted yet that determines the interconnectedness of home environment, work-life balance, and productivity. Most studies conducted only focus on productivity and work-life balance of working from home employees belonging to the industries like telecommunications and business, but there is a dearth in literature expounding the aforementioned variables in the context of home-based teachers. Also, there is no study conducted yet that correlates home environment, work-life balance, and productivity of secondary school teachers who are delivering online instructions from home. To address the existing gaps and fill in blind spots, the researcher will describe and measure the degree of association of the aforementioned variables with home-based private school secondary teachers as primary source of data. For my theoretical framework, this study will be anchored on border theory developed by Sue Campbell Clark in 2000, a framework for individuals and organizations who are promoting a balance between work and family responsibilities. The figures show the model of border theory that could explain home-based teachers cross the border between work and family domains in their current work arrangement. This study will attempt to determine how the respondents cross the three types of border identified in the construct of the theoretical underpinning, spatial, temporal, and psychological, and mental. This spatial border, being a tangible or physical component, will be covered through a description of their home environment. The home-based teacher's ability to manage the temporal boundary will be assessed through their level of work-life balance. Lastly, their efficiency in crossing the psychological and mental border will be measured through their productivity level. For my operational framework, illustrate the operational model showing the relationship among variables. The first independent variable, respondent's profile, will be described in terms of age, gender, civil status, and number of household members. Next, the other independent variables, which is the home environment, will be described in terms of ergonomics, distraction, and devices. Then, standardized tests will be used to measure the dependent variables, work-life balance, and work productivity. The researcher will determine if significant differences in the respondents' work environment, work-life balance, and productivity exist when grouped according to their profile. Lastly, correlational statistics will be used to assess the degree of association between and among the independent and dependent variables. And for the statement of the problem, specifically rather, this research will aim at answering the following questions. What is the profile of respondents in terms of age, gender, civil status, and number of household members? For the number 2, what is the home environment condition of the respondents in terms of ergonomics, distraction, and devices? Then what is the level of work-life balance of respondents? Number 4, what is the level of work productivity of respondents? Is there a significant difference in the respondents' home environment condition when grouped according to their profile? Is there significant difference in the respondents' level of work-life balance when grouped according to their profile? Is there significant difference in the respondents' level of work productivity when grouped according to their profile? How significant is the relationship between the respondents' home environment and work-life balance? How significant is the relationship between the respondents' home environment and work productivity? And how significant is the relationship between the respondents' work-life balance and productivity? Then the significance of the study, the findings of the study, could serve as reflection for home-based teachers to assess their personal efficiency and performing using the online platform. The result may also help school administrators or educational managers monitor and better understand home-based teachers, considering that daily face-to-face supervision is not possible in the new normal education system. The Department of Education could use this study as point of reference and implementing policies pertaining to teachers, rules in facilitating online classes from home. The improvement in home-based teaching that this study may initiate through proper utilization of findings could indirectly benefit students with better online learning experience. This study will also provide the researcher moving insight and new knowledge in educational management. The entire research process will also enable him to improve his critical and analytical thinking as well as communication and interpersonal skills. This research also serve as useful reference for future researchers, considering that there is an immediacy to understand home-based teaching as an emerging phenomenon brought forth by the unprecedented COVID-19 pandemic. For my research design, the researcher will employ quantitative descriptive correlational research design to determine the degree of association between and among home environment, work-life balance, and productivity of respondents. This design is intended to assess and test the relationships of two or more variables that could help researchers predict future events based on the present knowledge. The population of the study, the respondents will consist of 50 private junior and senior high school teachers who have been online teaching from home during the academic year 2020 to 2021. Because of pandemic, the researcher will use quota sampling strategy in which a tentative number of respondents is set and may be subject to increase until the saturation level is satisfied. recommended by Central Limit Theorem, according to Ganti 2019, a sample size equal or greater than 30 respondents is sufficient to predict the characteristics of the population. Considering the quarantine protocols, the researcher will select the respondents using availability sampling that takes the convenience and safety of both the respondents and researchers into utmost consideration. For the instrumentation and validation, the researcher will utilize a closed questionnaire in which the respondents can select their answer to question by cheating. The instrument will be a combination of self-constructed and standardized tests divided into 4 parts. Scale 1 will cover the respondent's profile, and Scale 2 will cover the home environment condition. Since the first 2 scales are non-standardized, the researcher will go through rigorous validation process, which include phase validation with experts in language, statistics, and research. Pilot testing will also be done with individuals to share the same characteristics with the actual respondents. The data to be gathered through pilot testing will undergo internal consistency through Cronbach alpha coefficient. Scale 3 will cover the work-life balance of respondents by utilizing the work-life balance self-assessment, a questionnaire developed by Neil Whittle Group Incorporation, 2017. Scale 4 will measure work productivity using the productivity test developed by Cami, Miller, and 2008. For the data gathering procedure, in gathering data first, the researcher will convert the document to Google form. Next is the process of searching for respondents through avenues for ethical consideration. Consent will be obtained from every respondent after the details and objectives of the study are comprehensively explained. The respondents will assured of absolute confidentiality and participating, then the floating of online survey will be conducted. Statistical treatment of data. For the statistical treatment of data, frequency, percentage, distribution, and ranking will use to describe the respondent's profile. Weighted mean, frequency, percentage, distribution, and ranking will be used to measure the respondents' work-life balance and productivity. Also, test of difference and relation will be used. Thank you very much and God bless. And now I am ready to answer if you have some question regarding to my proposed study, which is entitled Home Environment, Work-Life Balance, and Productivity of private secondary school teacher. That's all, and thank you very much.